Good morning everybody, this is Stephen House and this is Full Time Devils and this is your MUFC Transfer Daily. How is everybody doing this morning? Manchester United advanced into the 5th round of the FA Cup after beating Wigan 4-0. We look on course to retain our trophy. We're doing alright with it this year so far, aren't we? After slaying Reading and putting Wigan aside. Who do you guys want in the next round? The draw is later this evening and we are about to find out who we get. Now, do you want a big team? Do you want to really test ourselves, put someone like Arsenal away? Or do you want a nice easy trip, maybe pull in somebody like Sutton or somebody like that after they're beating Leeds, give them a nice payday at Old Trafford and then get rid of them and advance on into the 6th round. I don't know who I'd prefer, to be honest. I think I wouldn't mind testing myself against a big side. I think a really big side would be one that I really wanted to see. But anyway, this is Transfer Daily, so let's get into the transfer side of things. You guys can comment who you want to see in there in the meantime. The big one is Bastian staying, according to Jose. Now, after not having a locker at the start of the season, he's slowly worked his way back into the fold, and now he's starting games for Manchester United. I think that's absolutely fantastic. And the big news about that for me is that he didn't give up. He didn't kick off. He didn't come out and start crying about it. He just said, here's what I'm doing. And he worked hard when he got the opportunity to come back into training, and he looked so happy, didn't he? And then when he got his substitute appearances at Old Trafford, it was like the whole crowd was just watching their son be given a debut, the way they reacted to it. It was amazing to see. But anyway, Jose said that he's going to be staying. He's going to be registering in the Europa squad after the space has been cleared up by Schneiderlin and Memphis Depay going. So it looks like Bastian's still got a role to play with Manchester United, at least this season. So that's fantastic news. There's not enough characters in the game for me, I don't think. Certainly not enough characters in terms of experience and what he can offer. Some of the youth players as well speak about Bastian coming around and talking to the young players, and that's priceless. You can't really put a price on that, and I think that's an amazing thing that he's doing. Another lad that might be going though is Ashley Young. Ashley Young, Jose said in his press conference that he would like him to stay, but there's offers on the table from elsewhere, and there's talk of China being one place that he could go to, and also Watford being another place that he could go to. So I think Jose's playing the game. What do I always say? Don't take what managers say at face value in a press conference. There's always an agenda to it. Now, if he comes out and when he gets asked the question, so is Ashley Young going to be going? And he goes, yeah, I don't like Ashley Young, so I want to get rid of him. And then out of there. And the club that you're negotiating with to sell him is going to be like, I just saw that press conference last night and you said you didn't want him, so I'm going to give you a bag of skips and a mint aero for him. Now, that's not good business from a club sense, is it? So what he needs to say is he needs to say, do you know what? Yeah, there is offers on the table. I'd prefer him to stay. Now, when they go into a meeting, they can say, we don't really want him to go. Look, you've seen the manager's press conference last night. He says he wants to keep him, so that offer's not good enough. So see you later, lads. It's just good business sense. So I think he probably will go. Jose said the same thing about Memphis Depay, so I would expect him probably to be moved on. You're looking at tomorrow for the end of the window, I think, aren't you? Is it tomorrow or is it the 1st? I think it is tomorrow. So there you go. The next one that we've got is Manchester United are banned from signing Icardi from Inter Milan after he's done a John Terry and he's married his mate's wife. That's why the Ultras was all after him at Inter. The Mafia have supposedly offered to break his legs and Maxi Lopez has said no. But this seems like a bullshit article the Express have written. It says Barcelona, Paris and Manchester United, three coincidentally biggest teams in Europe. Was they really looking for him? Was they really looking for Icardi when they've got Suarez? Was they really looking for Icardi when they've got Cavani? Was we really looking for him when we've got the multitude of talent that we've got up front? Probably not, no. Are we banned from signing him? No. Maybe we just gone, yeah, not really interested in him. And the Express have just interpreted that as we're banned from signing him from some little rule inside the club or something like that. It's absolute nonsense. The Express is just, it is gutter press, honestly. The next one that we've got is Tierney, the young left-back from Celtic. Sunderland are trying to buy him. They reckon it's going to cost them about 14 million. They reckon it probably won't go through tomorrow. It's more likely something that's going to happen in the summer. Moyes is desperate to bring him down to UK, but doesn't think that's going to happen. And because United have scouted him, they've also lumped United, City and Chelsea in there with him as well, which is just trying to just hit the keyword bingo in it. Like, who can we link him to here that's going to make people click? There's no way United are going to be interested in him. How many good left-backs have we got of our own? We've got Riley who can play there. We've got Luke Shaw who's still young. We've got Cameron Borthwick-Jackson who's out on loan who's probably better than this kid. So why are we getting carried away with that? I don't know. So they've thrown United in there just to get clicks on it, really, basically. I think there's no interest from United side whatsoever, but guess what? If he signs for Sunderland, I'm sure he'll say that he snubbed us to sign for Sunderland. No, he didn't, mate. Sort your neck out. One that has happened over the weekend, though, since the last time we did Transfer Daily, Sean Goss has signed for QPR and he's been given the number 10 shirt. So good luck to Sean over there. They've obviously got high hopes for you to give you a shirt number like that. So hopefully you go and smash it. And I think me and Adam are going to go and try and check out a game when United aren't playing and see how he's getting on. So good luck to Sean over at QPR. Hopefully he smashes it. And he's only on loan, really, because we've got a buyback clause in there. So if he performs, then we're going to bring him back, and if he doesn't, then no great shakes, I suppose, is there? But I think he's going to do well over there. I think he's going to surprise a few people. Unbelievable left foot on him. So let's see what he can get up to. Now, you guys saying in the comments. Now, yeah, there's something happening at Old Trafford. I should probably try and get this on here at the moment. ESPN are reporting that there's a fire in a lift room at Old Trafford this morning. Everything's fine, but it's not good news. United have just been tweeting about it because I've just seen it popping up on my alerts. Let's see what I can find out about it. A small electrical fire was identified quickly in a Sir Bobby Charlton stand around 7 a.m. today. The fire brigade attended the isolated incident and it was dealt with quickly and effectively. There's minimal damage and no injuries, so that's good news. Nobody's been hurt. That's about all there is to say. Club have already spoke about it. I think that's probably about the top and bottom of it. I'm on my way to Old Trafford in about an hour, so I'll find out if there's anything more serious going on there, and obviously we'll let you know because we're filming there anyway. But there you go. Like, what's everybody saying? Someone says here, says Mourinho needs to stop publicly hitting out at players. Now, I think you need to actually read articles like he's saying, mate, because he's not hitting out at players. He's testing his players. He doesn't want the same situation that he had on his hands at Chelsea, where all the players just decide to down tools and bugger off. He's finding out which players can hack it and which players can't hack it. And I think that's a good thing. He's not publicly criticised anyone. If you read what he said, all he's talking about is factual incidents that have happened in the games. And when he says that Marshall needs to listen to him and not his agent, he's absolutely bang on. So I think you need to read the papers properly and not just the headlines, mate. No rush to sell by tomorrow. Chinese window is open for another month. That's a good point, Ross. That is if that is China where Young is going and not to another Premier League team. Goss and Memphis buyback clause. I'm not sure if Memphis's was actually. I read that it was, and then read that it wasn't, and then I read that it was again, and then I read that it wasn't again. So I'm not sure what the crack is with Memphis's buyback clause. We need 2 sets of starting 11s for the rest of the season. That's not a bad point, says Summit. Yeah, I think so. What's this one here? Don't you think we need to sign good subs for the sake of depth? I think we've got good depth. Where would you need depth? Where do you think that we need depth? Because I think we've got pretty good depth all over the place. Headlines are clickbait. Yes, Jesse, you're right, mate. Yeah, and they, especially when it's Jose Mourinho. They'll say, Jose Mourinho hates Anthony Marshall. What did he actually say? He said, Marshall needs to work a little bit harder. And is he wrong? Do I think Andreas Pereira would come back from loan this season? No, I think he's going to be staying there all season. Hope we don't sign anybody. I'm happy with the team. Yeah, I think we've got a lot. I think we've got a lot of. I think we've got a decent enough squad as it is. I don't think we need to run out and sign anybody, to be honest. Jose said it would make sense to have control over our talent if they leave. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, it's fair enough. Where has Dean gone? Dean who? Henderson? He's on loan at Grimsby. Sick of the media using United for views. Because we're the biggest club in the world, mate. And because we're all just absolutely desperate to consume news about Manchester United. Hence why you guys are here listening to a YouTube channel this morning. Because we're desperate to understand and read and listen to what's going on about Manchester United. But the newspapers do it. We do it in an honest way. We do it and say, look, this is bullshit, this might be happening, right? We do it in an honest way. We try and get to the bottom of what's going on, and we don't clickbait you. But the newspapers are like, yeah, throw United's name into that, throw United's name into that. We get linked to 200 players, and then the press like to say that we got snubbed. Did we get snubbed? We signed Zlatan, Pogba, Mkhitaryan, and some guy that we'd never heard of in the summer. That was the players that we went for. Now, we might have been snubbed by Kante. That one I could buy. But the other 195 different players? No. Rick says, do I still attend the youth games this season? I do. I've not been to any over the last couple of weeks because there was a little bit of a break over Christmas. And I didn't go to Anfield because you needed tickets and Liverpool messed everyone about. They only give us 200 tickets and I couldn't get down and go and get a ticket from the ticket office myself. There was only a couple of days that you could do it and I couldn't get down. So I watched that one on telly. But tonight I'm going to watch United and Everton. Tomorrow I'm going watching the under-18s against Altrincham, which is their first team. So, yeah, of course I do. BBC, what was that one? BBC made it all about Marshall yesterday. What a joke, adding fuel to an extinguished fire. It wasn't an extinguished fire. There wasn't a fire. There was no fire. They was trying to make some sort of rift between Jose and Marshall. That just didn't exist. It's nonsense. Aperv says, is Daley Blind a good replacement for Carrick? I think he could be, but again, it's another player that you need to try there. Is Terrell Warren better than Tuanzebe? No, I don't think so. I think he's a different style of centre-half, but I think Tuanzebe is the top of that list of young centre-halves that we've got at the club at the moment. Do I think we need to buy centre-backs? Nope. Is CBJ, is it back? No, this is a weird one, right? Because 2 weeks ago, I got told United had brought back Borthwick Jackson and he would have been back next week, like the next week. And then he's just never come back. So I don't know what's going on with him. Heard Chong's knee injury is fairly serious. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. I'm going to try and find out tonight. And if not tonight, tomorrow possibly. Newer JG says, do I think Angel Gomez is ready for the senior squad despite his age? Skills-wise, yes. Size-wise, I don't think so. But tomorrow's going to be a really interesting test. I think tomorrow will be a really interesting test. They're playing against Altringham's men's first team. So we are about to find out how some of these lads cope playing against an adult side. And I believe that they play against the under-23s on a regular basis. So I think they're probably ready for the step up into the 23s. I said all season that Angel was smashing it this season, and I want to get some eyes on and see how he copes with playing against dudes in the under-23 side after Christmas. So I'm happy to see if he can start getting games after Christmas. Then we can see how he develops. But you know, he's absolutely fantastic. We need a striker. Do we really need a striker though? What did I think of Shaw yesterday? I thought defensively he was great. I thought he wasn't quite up to it attacking. He didn't really seem to be taking that risk in the final third, but you know what? He might be rusty. He just needs to get games back and see what happens. Griezmann and Ibra together could be deadly. Who should Bay part with, Smalling or Rojo at the moment? I think it's got to be Rojo. Donald Trump is an Arsenal fan, did I know that? Well, that explains a lot, doesn't it? Because they're all absolutely batshit crazy as well, so that just fits in with the rest of Arsenal fans, doesn't it? What if there's an injury crisis? Will Jose use youth? Well, Louis van Gaal did last season because of an injury crisis. It wasn't out of the goodness of his heart. He wasn't doing it at the start of the season. He did it once people started getting injured, so maybe. Any news on Fosu's injury? No news whatsoever. Am I kind of worried that Mood plays Fosu at right back? No, because I think it's harder to start someone in that really pivotal position. You saw how influential Bastian Schweinsteiger was yesterday in central midfield. I think it's easier for him to get minutes and learn to trust him as a right back before moving him into his actual position. I think he needs to learn to trust him a little bit. Romero a little bit shaky last night. Jack, no, I think he was just bored and trying to make it more interesting. No, there was a couple of mistakes that he made, but he still got a clean sheet, so fair enough. Jay says, can you have the skips in the mint arrow? No, they are mine! Rooney to China, thoughts? There's a lot of talk about Rooney to China, and I think that would be an excellent coup for the Chinese if they could get someone like Rooney, someone who's still kind of at the top of their game, rather than someone who's like retired and come out of retirement to go over there. I think that would be an excellent one for him. Would we miss Morgan Schneiderlin? Yeah, I think we would actually. I mean, I'm not seeing how he's getting on at Everton just yet, but he is a player that I thought would be loved by Jose Mourinho, and obviously not. Where is Varela? He's on loan at Frankfurt, but he's injured, so he's not been playing. It was quite a serious injury, so I expect another month or so out of him. What was my overall view of the game last night? I went out how I thought it was going to go, in all honesty, in terms of that Warren Joyce does nothing if he doesn't just sit and defend and make it tough and deny the space in that final third. So I didn't really have any sort of issues with it. I was kind of patient, expecting it to go that way, hoping we would get a goal in the first half. We'd get one on like 43rd, 44th minute, something like that. And then in the second half we started to blow them away because ultimately they didn't have the squad depth and the ability to be able to compete with United. And as long as they could keep it tight, I thought they were going to be in the game. And then as soon as that first goal went in, then what happens? We steamroll them. So it was how I thought it was going to go, at least in the second half. Once we started opening them up. In the first half, I thought it would just be kept really tight and really contained, and that was what happened. Warren Joyce is working with limited funds there and that at Wigan, so I thought that was exactly what he was going to do. We've seen him do that in the under-23s when he was manager here for so long. I think he revels the underdog sort of role, but you know. Didn't McCullough predict 4-0? I think he did, yeah. 4-0's a regular score. I said 7-1, but I wasn't being entirely serious. So just like bored of picking conservative results. Who do I think are the next top 5 to break into the first team? I don't think there'll be any more this year. I don't think there'll be any more debuts. The 2 that I thought was going to break into the team this year was Sean Goss and Axel Tuanzebe. I thought they was the closest 2. I think I said that right away through summer, to be honest. So now Axel's got his debut and Sean's been moved on. I'd be very surprised if there's any more, depending on how serious the injuries are. If there's a load of injuries, then yeah, you might see some more. And it depends on the position that the injuries are in, to be honest. Angel Gomez is quite good. I think he can work in the main squad inside a year. He's 16. He's only just turned 16 like 6 months ago, I suppose. So I think he's a while off yet, just on size. But again, tomorrow, watching them play against Altringham's first team, so it'd be interesting to see how they get on. Who do I think of LVG signing's been the most pointless? Well, look, given the game time that he's got, you'd have to say Memphis, I think. Chris Smalling needs to be on the bench. The game must be captain. Rojo is a Man United player of the season. Rojo's doing really well. Don't know about player of the season, but he is definitely doing really well. Is Roshan the next big youth product? I don't think you're going to get another centre-half coming through at this time, because I think if there's a space for a centre-half, he's going to play Axel. He's not going to have someone jump Axel in the queue. So I don't know. Roshan's a great centre-half. I think in terms of ability on the ball and composure and that, I think Axel's quite a level above him, but he's definitely one for the future. Definitely, he's a year and a half or so younger than Axel as well, so I would just relax. What's everybody else in the comments saying? What is the future of Adnan Januzaj? Honestly, don't know, but I believe he's probably going to struggle to get back in. Is Marshall now considered a 9 or a left winger? I think he's considered as a player who can play both. I wouldn't judge his abilities to play up front on yesterday's game because there was no space, there was no opportunities in the first half, and maybe the game opened up, coincided with him moving over to the left, but I think it was going to open up at some point anyway yesterday. What happened to Tyler Blackett and Paddy McNair? Paddy's at Sunderland, I think, and Tyler is at Reading, playing very regularly for Jaap Stam's team. So there you go. What do I think about Antonio Valencia? I love his attitude. Just a no-nonsense, absolute grafter. And I think he's doing fantastic at right back. He's impressing me at right back. I think he's got to work on his jockeying a little bit and his one-on-one defending. But you don't really get past him, do you? You don't really get beyond him because of how fast he is, so you're going to struggle getting behind him. Anyway, that will do us, I think, for this morning. Bang it in the comments once the video goes up. Who did you guys think was your man of the match yesterday? Which of these transfers do you think is about to come off? Do you think Ashley Young's going to go? Do you think it's just bullshit about Icardi and all the rest of that stuff? Thank you for watching. There's fan cams if you want to go check those out, and we'll have the full-time review show out later on today, so make sure you check that out. And we've got the insight from all the different YouTubers, including Statman Dave and myself from outside Old Trafford. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in a bit.